So what brings you to New York?
Gucci.
Right. Hi, how are you? Hi, Emma.
Hi.
I'm so happy and excited
Can
to
I?
be meeting. Yes.
Yeah.
Just kidding. And this is like spa water.
Cucumber. I might put a strawberry in there too.
I was just thinking that. So what brings you to New York? I mean, I know, but the people don't.
So I'm here for Gucci, the new perfume. So I was asked to do these illustrations for their new perfume, which is an amazing thing. Really happy. And it was just a great campaign to be part of.
Do you come to New York a lot?
No, I don't actually. I haven't been here in like 8 years, probably.
So how does it feel to be back?
Pretty surreal. I don't know if I'm dreaming.
Can you share a little bit about the illustrations?
So I did 4 about a girl transforming. Quite scientific. I mean, she was like making a little potion to like become a better person or like blossom into her best self. And then it was just herself.
At the end.
Yeah, but like in a really nice dress and covered with flowers coming down from the ceiling.
It's so beautiful. The concept / notion of transformation is quite seminal in a lot of your work, right?
Yeah, I guess it comes from myself that I feel, or I've grown up feeling that you do need to transform, or like that you always have to become something else that's better, a better version in every aspect of your life. So I guess that's a feeling that I've grown up with, and I don't like it. And so I try to like break it down into something which I think is like humorous to make it easier, more like accessible, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense. Do you feel like you've been able to troubleshoot against doing that in your personal life?
Yeah,
How?
through my illustrations, I guess, through
Yeah.
writing these things down. So all of my drawings come from a thought before.
Right.
So I never like draw and then I just like always have what I want to say before. So that means I have to have like processed an emotion and a thought before I get to do any work.
That's how I feel about Instagram. I come up with the caption before I take the photo.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It is the same thing. Yeah, I write long captions to my illustrations as well. They're like rants. How do you say when you talk like subconscious?
Yeah,
just
that's
like
appropriate rants.
Yeah,
So you live in Rome, huh? And
do.
you're from Rome.
I am. I went to London to do my degree and then I stayed on another 2.5 years.
Why did you go back to Italy?
Because I had a breakdown.
What kind?
Just like completely like life, I guess. I wasn't dealing with it very well. I didn't know what I was doing and I had graduated in something that I realized I didn't want to do.
What did you graduate in?
I did theatre, but I specialized in performance art.
Okay.
So I was like, this just isn't practical. Not the illustration is. Yeah, great career choice. And then I ended up
I think you're doing
working.
okay for yourself.
I think so too. I've peaked and now. We'll
No. Let's just stop it at I think so too.
Okay.
You have not peaked.
Okay, thanks.
You're in the process of blooming.
Yeah, I like that.
Can you tell me a little bit more about some of the motifs in your art?
It's all girls. And they are all being strong, even though they can look weak because they're like in bed eating. I just like to represent like what's honest, or at least what I think is honest. I'm pretty obsessed with honesty.
Why?
Because I felt that people around me weren't being honest and that didn't help me. When people write to me and they're like, oh my God, what you do is amazing. Like, through Instagram, you can think that everyone else is just like a bit more successful than you and like living the life. But it's so important to like be honest about how you got to where you are and what you do, and that actually I've like done other jobs which I hated. Like I've been...
Or while you're in it, how you're getting to where you want to go.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for chatting with me, Emma. This was such a treat. Hey!
Enjoy.
I'm Leandra. Can I help you to some tea? Or you can help yourself, that's fine too. Sure.
I'm like really particular with my tea, by the
Are
way.
you? So because the theme of, or I shouldn't say theme, but because bloom is a central word, obviously, in the new Gucci fragrance, can I ask when you feel like you came into your own as an artist, when you bloomed, when you blossomed?
I guess it's hard for me to see that, but my friend brought it up one time and just said, use the word blossomed exactly.
Really?
It made me cringe at the time, but it was sweet. It was really sweet. And I would say after I left university, I didn't really know what I was doing, like what to do. It was just like leaving and then having to find out things on my own and meeting all these like really amazing like artists and creatives in London. That helped me like be more confident and like really like, work more, and they gave me like a really good sense of support. So I'd say that was me blooming.
Do you feel like your upbringing or family has affected your work in any capacity?
Oh, definitely. Like both my parents are Congolese. My family as a whole have a very strong sense of fashion. Not necessarily like my taste, but really like bold, bright colors and patterns. And going to like my grandma's house for the first time in Congo, like visually it was like amazing, like bright pink walls and like blue text above the door. It was like an art piece in itself.
I bet.
I just thought it was like amazing to see that, and so many houses like that. So I would say being surrounded in those kind of environments has really affected like the aesthetic of my work. I use a lot of like bright colors that may not necessarily like, go, but putting something like orange and red can look quite nice on a piece. Or like yellow and like a green, like I just like color clashing.
So are you first generation English?
Yeah, first generation, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm first generation American.
Oh.
Don't you feel like it impacts almost everything you do
Yeah,
and how you see the world?
I felt there's a little bit of a feeling that when I go there, I can feel like this is home, but also like this isn't fully where I am because I wasn't born there.
Right.
But then also being in London, like this is home, but also sometimes being made to feel like this isn't home. So it's like that weird floating feeling of like, where do I really belong?
Yeah. Thank you so much for talking to me. This was such a treat.
Yeah, this was nice.
You're
this
a
is
pleasure.
Really laid back, yeah.
You're a real delight.
Hi, Amber. Hi. Cheers to meeting each other.
And to that jacket.
Thank you.
So this is really fun and special and exciting for me because I'm a huge fan of your work, and also because you've been illustrating for MANREPELLER for a little bit. And so I'm so excited that you're part of this Gucci program.
Equally as excited, especially when I found out that you were meeting with me. I was like, oh my goodness, how perfect.
I know, this is so great. So tell me a little bit about the work that you created for Gucci.
For their Acqua di Fiori in Bloom perfume launch, I created a story of about 6 or 7 illustrations depicting a woman traveling, learning about herself, learning about other women, and then starting to draw them. And as she began to draw them, she started to learn how she was changing and evolving and being inspired by other women around the world.
That's so deep. No, but it's so remarkable and interesting and incredible to hear other women talk about the way that they internalize their own experiences and how that informs their art. How do you feel like your work speaks to the strength and empowerment of women?
I feel that for me, since I was younger, going to different art galleries and art museums and then being fed all this advertising of women, women were or are still kind of portrayed in a very specific way. And as I experience and meet different women throughout life, that isn't the same. I just feel like the art history and perception of women isn't accurate. So for me, I wanted to make work of women by a female artist and wanted to be as honest and accurate as I could be with the essence of the woman I was portraying within my work.
Do you feel like the process that you employ when you are making art for like any number of your illustration jobs was different from the process of making it for Gucci?
Yes, I love the fact that Gucci was very open with what they wanted from me. They were very much like, be inspired by the scent, be inspired by, you know, coming of age, which is very much in my personal wheelhouse already, by blooming, by blossoming. So it was really lovely to be able to just create a story that was so personal to me and then be able to share it with so many people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, tell me more about this coming of age thing that's so important for you.
Yeah, so I feel that, you know, as I'm growing older and as I'm learning more and seeing more, I love to include elements of that story within my work and then elements of that story from other women within my work as well.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to have a project that felt that was equally as important to them as it was to me.
I know, but also I feel like that's kind
I
of the
hope
note
they
you're
do.
supposed to end on, right?
No.
Can I
For
help you to
accepting me.
anything before we sit down?
Just water would be okay.
So, no dip, then? Okay. You know why I'm... When the mic goes down...
So you have a good singing voice. You could just sing.